basketball!
Welcome back, everybody, to Good Morning Let's Basketball. Today, we got a very special guest with us. We traded Kevin for 2 copy machines and a fax machine. And we got Tyler, a.k.a. Hoop Venue. He's very knowledgeable. I'm glad we got him on today, man. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, appreciate the invite, man. I'm excited. Excited to talk.
First off, bro, round of applause for 100,000 subs.
Thank you.
Let's give him the flowers. Give him the flowers that we don't actually have.
One from behind them.
Before we jump into our topics today with Hoop Venue, also known as Tyler, we're first going to give a 5-second moment of silence to Gordon Hayward, who just recently retired. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, moving into the episode. Venue, go ahead. Plug your channel, bro. Tell the people what you're all about.
The channel. Most of my content is on YouTube, Hoop Venue. I make player and team analysis where I'll go in depth on film statistics and basically just go into the strengths and weaknesses of teams and players based on what's trending. I do game breakdowns as well. And my goal is basically just to kind of educate people on things they might not be too knowledgeable on. I like to cover underrated things, underrated players, role players, but also while not trying to show anyone up. Like, I want to make sure any fan, no matter how in-depth you are, no matter how much of a casual you are, like, you can digest my content and kind of get what I'm talking about. And so that's been the goal. Analysis, but making it accessible to everyone.
Yeah, dude, I was very impressed with, like, some of your work that you've done. Like, when Miles told me about you, I've never seen your channel.
Mm-hmm.
I watched your ranking of the top 25 players.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was amazed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. A very controversial list, but
Yeah.
I gotta say, bro, for the record, I was subscribed to you for like a year, and I
Yeah.
didn't even know it was you.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like I
so-
think that's the 5th time I've heard that, because I remember back when I was even a lot smaller, a couple dudes I'd play basketball with, I remember I told one on my channel, and he looked it up, and my most recent video was watched all the way through, and I was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, it's interesting. I tried to like keep it on the down low, but
yeah.
obviously now I'm like coming out of my shell a little bit.
I mean, clearly you kept it on the down low, bro. I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, for the fans, I guess our first question, just to give the fans a little more background on you, what does like a week look like for you? Like editing videos at 100,000 subs, NBA creator. Are you constantly studying the game? Is this like a full-time job for you? Like how do you go about like managing your channel?
Yeah, for sure. So right now it's obviously the off season, so I've tried to make space to do things that I enjoy outside of the content. So I've been trying to go outside, play basketball, things like that. But during the season, a big part of my growth was really disciplining myself and fully leaning into the content. So I was a full-time student from 2021 until I want to say 2022. I finished out my sophomore year as a full-time student. And then I wanted to switch to part-time. And I kind of had a talk with my mom. I was like, look, I think I can do something with the YouTube thing. I think I was at like 12,000 subscribers at this point. And she was kind of like, all right, you can go part-time. We'll see what happens. I ended the 2023 season, I think, with like 34,000. And then I told my mom, look, we need to go even farther. I might need to drop out. Like, I think I can really do something. And so she met me halfway. I switched to online. I think I did 2 classes online. She was like, look, I want you to stay in. I don't want you to burn that bridge, but I want you to like be able to focus on your thing. And so from that point on, I fully leaned into the YouTube all the time. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. every single day, started my day with a workout, got home at like 7:38, and then I would work till I went to bed. And that was Sunday to Sunday. That was 7 days a week.
Wow.
And draining, of course. It was a lot.
Yeah.
But I had to like make a lot of sacrifices. I told myself I'm not getting in a relationship. I'm gonna have to turn down friends, parties, all that. And so I basically did that unless I was sick or I think I went on 2 trips over the season. But yeah, I pretty much just worked like 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. And yeah, it was a lot. But as you can see, like, I feel like it was worth it. Now I'm in a place where I can take a break. I can take a week off, or I can take a day off when I want to, and I still have the platform to come back to.
Smart. Smart, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So
Yeah.
you 12-hour days.
Yeah.
Straight grind, man.
Did you really like notice it? I mean, I'm sure you noticed. Obviously, like you said, it was draining. But like, were you glad that you were rather doing that than like, I don't know what your degree was, or if you were like, if your degree matched, anything to do with sports or management or anything like that.
Yeah, so I was going to school for business analytics, and I'm still enrolled. I'm doing one class next semester. I'm
Okay.
still, I haven't dropped out yet. The bridge is not burned.
good for you.
Yeah.
Keeping
So-
mom happy. I like it.
Yeah, so I was going to school for business analytics, but it always kind of felt like a background to me because for me, I always viewed the YouTube thing as the plan A.
Mhm.
I just couldn't discipline myself to fully lean into it like I did this last season.
Mm.
So I would have a video get 20,000 views and then I would go 2 weeks without uploading. But I'm like, I know the potential's there. I can do it. So a lot of times I'd go to class and when we're taking notes, I'd be sitting there doing notes for a video.
Yeah.
And
Smart.
like I wasn't really intaking information, but then I'd do good on quizzes and stuff. So I was getting A's and B's in college. Not really. I don't really know if I've learned 5 things in college 3 years in, but like I've been there, gone to class. I wasn't missing class or anything. I was focused on the degree,
Mhm.
but it was more so I'm going there to get the degree, not really to intake all of the information that's being given to me. I pick up a few nuggets here and there about the business side of things because that is a lot of what I do
Yeah.
at this point is the business side of things. But going back to like what you said, what the day looks like for me is usually I would go to bed early, and so I would miss the last games of the night usually when I would go to bed, and so I'd usually start my day rewatching a full game in the morning, and I would like when you rewatch a game, you can pause, rewind,
Yeah.
like you can really go at your own pace, and I'd kind of just take notes and be like, what's going on, and then if I'm working on a specific player, I'll watch only that player during the game, see what he's doing, everything he's doing on the court. If I'm doing a specific team, I'll try and watch like their actions and what the coach is doing. But yeah, I usually start my day after the workout with just watching, just like what's going on,
Yeah.
because I can't talk about something if I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So have you ever gotten a comment from a fan that said like, watch games? Like, do you
All
even
the
watch
time.
games?
All the time. Anytime I reference a stat, if I say someone's plus minus, it's yeah. I mean, you can just watch the game and you'll see that he's positive impact. I'm like, okay, man.
Yeah.
My goal with the channel initially was to show people that in order to get a good scope of what you're talking about when analyzing, is you have to balance the numbers with what you're seeing. If you just watch and don't look at any numbers, nobody can watch every single possession.
Yeah.
The NBA tracks every single possession, everything that's happening at this point. So, but you also can't look at just the numbers, see everything that's tracked, and not know how the numbers are being produced.
Mm-hmm.
Got to find a balance, and that's like the goal of my videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude. I feel like I learn like when I watch your videos, so like it's definitely helpful. But I mean, I had a question because you said you're such in a routine. Do you have editors on top of this now?
I don't.
Or you
It's
do
all
everything?
me. Yeah,
Oh,
and that's a choice I could probably outsource, but I'm very particular in wanting things done my way.
Yeah.
So I choose to have the extra workload. Eventually, of course, I'm gonna need to outsource if I just keep expanding.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now it's just all me.
Well, it
Okay.
seems like you know the formula. I mean, you don't get to 100,000 not knowing what you're doing, so
And-
it seems like you know what you want.
A big part of it has been finding efficient ways to do everything. So I use basically the exact same thumbnail in every video. I just replace the players in the play in it,
Yeah.
or like I'll edit videos the exact same way. And that was actually my initial background. I was a video editor before anything. I used to make Vine edits. Remember
Yeah.
Vine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like other
there's-
people?
Back
Or-
in the day. No, I would make like sports edits, like 6 seconds. It'd be a beat drop with a bunch of effects.
Yeah.
And I would do those, and so I learned how to edit when I was like 9 years old, and so that was my initial background. So that is a part of where I kind of like feel like I make the magic happen. So I don't want to outsource the editing because that was my initial, like I feel like that's where I'm best, honestly,
Mhm.
is the editing side of things.
Do you ever wake up and you're like, damn, man, I got a Wizards Pistons game to watch?
That's a great
Does it ever
question.
happen?
That's
dude?
a great question.
I think, yeah, I think it's funny. Like I remember the first time I ever had that realization where like I was just too much of a freak with this thing was when I was watching the Rockets right after James Harden went to the Nets. When I was watching the 2021 Rockets when like Christian Wood and Kelly Olynyk were their best players, I was like, what am I doing? Like sometimes I'll catch myself And I'm
Yeah.
like, and sometimes I'll be watching a game and I'll just turn it off because I'm like, no one's even gonna watch. Like if I make a video on this, no one cares.
Yeah, it's a good.
And it's
yeah.
like if I'm watching like you said, would you say Wizards and Pistons?
Yeah.
No one. I didn't make a Wizards video last season, and like I'm sorry to the Wizards fans, but like, what am I gonna cover? Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma? Like I don't know.
No, yeah.
And it's like I remember throughout the season I made a Google sheet of the amount of videos I did on each team. To like, because I wanted to give an even playing field. I didn't want to be like national media where it's like we cover the Lakers, the Celtics, and the Warriors. That's it. So I tried to get the balance, but then I still find like it's lopsided. Like I think I did after the entire season because playoffs included. I think I ended up making 26 Timberwolves videos or something like that.
Wow.
And then
Yeah,
that's
0
crazy.
Wizards, 0 Hawks.
We have
It's like,
we have an Anthony Edwards hater on the podcast right here to my right.
Gotta
So
expose me like that, huh?
26 Timberwolves videos.
26. Yeah, I think I ended up. I think my top 3 teams. So it worked out well. I think my top 3 teams I made videos on the most were Timberwolves, Mavs, and Celtics, and that was 3 of the
Wow.
final 4 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It worked
wow.
out.
That
It
is
worked
that's
out.
nice.
That's
We've been
crazy.
saying we missed out on a great opportunity, like just being Indiana like natives and not really like supporting the Pacers going into the season. Like
Yeah.
we missed out for
And
sure.
They were
didn't
my
miss it.
favorite watch of the season until like through the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
Like the high pace style of play,
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful basketball.
it
I
really
love the
was.
Pacers.
I couldn't agree more because that was like such a big thing that I was saying too. Was just like, yeah, I really enjoyed watching the Pacers, and then like after that break, like it seemed like Tyrese kind of slowed down maybe a little bit, but
Mhm.
overall, I mean, it was a good season for them.
No, yeah, dude, they were fun to watch. But I was curious, so, like, what team this season was probably like the least fun to watch for you?
I mean, I feel like it had to be the Wizards are tough because I really do like fast play,
Yeah.
and they played so fast, but it was almost annoyingly fast because of how out of control they were.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, just off the dome, I feel like it's got to be the Wizards. No one else really comes to mind. I mean, I didn't enjoy watching the Hawks, and I like Trae Young. I like a lot of what the Hawks do. I did not like the dynamic of Trae and DeJounte at all,
Hmm.
and that was just annoying to watch, especially when Trae got hurt, and then DeJounte was like, didn't he have 44 field goal attempts in a game?
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
disgusting. That is disgusting to
That's,
watch.
yeah, that's gross.
I think the last time we probably saw that was like James Harden.
Yeah. And there are bad teams that are fun to watch. Like, I love watching the Hornets. When
Yeah.
they have LaMelo, that's a fun team to
Yeah.
watch.
Everybody loves LaMelo, I feel like.
Yeah, I love watching the Jazz, too, when they're not tanking intentionally. Like, when Lowry's actually playing and they got their thing going on. Fun watch.
Shout out Danny Ainge,
Yeah.
former Celtic. I guess I'll ask this question. If you could pick one video from your channel that's your favorite you've ever made, what video are you picking?
Dude, this is tough because I think the best video I ever made was before I had good audio equipment.
That's the worst.
So, like, if we're just talking about quality of video, it's not this one. But in terms of analysis, I think the best video I ever made was called "Why Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is Impossible to Guard."
We have a Shea lover on
It
the
was-
podcast as well.
It was actually the video that kind of took my channel off. I dropped it in the off season after 2023, and it got like I think 300,000 views. It was like 25 minutes long, and I covered the most obscure things. I was covering like shin angles, ankle flexibility, like how low to the ground his knee is when he does a step back. Like it was, and I never felt so complete after finishing a video because
Yeah.
I just went in depth on every little thing. But if we're going just off quality of video, I think the video I made previewing the finals, I made a video like everything you need to know before the finals. It was Mavs and Celtics. I went into their regular season matchups, covered schematic choices, and the reason I like that one a lot is because I kind of hit everything right on the head. Like I predicted Tatum on the center. I predicted like a bunch of different things.
You want to hear what I predicted?
What'd you predict?
Jaylen Brown Finals MVP
Yeah,
2 months before the playoffs.
I respect that. Respect that. Was that an anti-Tatum pick, or was that a
No.
pro Jaylen Brown
Hey,
pick?
that was pro
We-
Jaylen.
Okay.
Yeah, we were dropping like hot takes for the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and that was his pick. I didn't think it was gonna
Were
happen.
you getting clowned?
No,
Was
Me
don't know.
personally, I like
Maybe by
say
y'all.
it kind of jokingly, but at the same time, kind of realistically, that like Jaylen Brown is like not the superstar on that Celtics team, but he goes under the radar. And like I do think if Jason Tatum weren't there, Jaylen Brown would obviously be that guy. But even maybe even better than Jason Tatum is right now. So
Okay.
I was kind of on his side, but to your point, like definitely more of like a Tatum hater, Jaylen Brown liker than anything else. So
I have a question for you as a Celtics fan. Because I was very high in the Celtics all year, and I got clowned because they didn't prove it in the playoffs. They're gonna choke again.
People
And
are
I'm
so
like,
dumb, bro.
I remember I made a graphic, and it was like teams in NBA history to have a number 1 offense and a top 3 defense in the same season, and it was all like 70 win threats that won the championship convincingly. And then it was the Celtics, and I was like, what are we doing? But my question for you is, going into the playoffs, if you knew Kristaps would basically be a non-factor, would you still have predicted them to win it all? Like, because that's what shocked me, because without Kristaps, it's basically just the same team that lost to the Heat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want my honest answer, no. I don't think
Okay.
they would have won it all if I knew Kristaps Porzingis would not have played the whole time.
Right.
But-
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, like I mean, they're great, but like, bro, it's Porzingis. Like, he just
Yeah.
had arguably the best season of his career. So like,
Like, if you told me 39-year-old Al Horford would be basically all of the center minutes for a 16-3 playoff run, I would look at you like you're crazy.
no,
And that's
it's true.
exactly what
That's true.
happened.
Yeah.
That's
true.
exactly what happened.
No, you're right.
I guess I never really like. I was just so caught up in what was going on in the West and like how there was obviously like so much chaos
Yeah.
that I kind of just like was like, okay, yeah, this is hopefully they beat the Celtics, and then I like wasn't really paying attention to that. But yeah, that's a good point.
And I think the Eastern Conference playoffs, for the most part, were a little boring just because
Yeah.
we knew the Celtics. But I also think
Mhm.
because of that, people overlooked some like remarkable performances, like Donovan Mitchell. After Game 6 of the Magic series, he had 50 in Game 6, I think. Game 7, like 40, and then blitzed the Celtics for those first 3 games. And it was like no one said a word about that. No one even cared.
That's true. I mean, you do have a point. Honestly, when you said he dropped 50, I was like, did he really?
Yeah,
But then
he
I was
had-
like, oh,
He had
okay.
18 in the
I
fourth of Game
forgot.
6.
Holy cow! No, you're right. That literally, I remember having a conversation with our other co-host who's not here, Kevin, who we traded
Who we traded for you.
for Brendan and stuff. But no, I had told him kind of the same thing.
I had one question though. So, like, with all your knowledge and stuff, do you ever see yourself like becoming like a coach or trying to coach?
I don't know if I have the personality to do that type of thing, because I feel like 90% of coaching is player management and things like that.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I have like that authoritative coaching style of personality. I feel like I'm more, I don't know, because it's tough because I'm very passionate about the basketball and learning about the basketball and stuff, but I also feel like I'm just as, if not more, passionate about the content. And if I were to work for a team, I wouldn't be able to produce content anymore. I would be exclusively giving my information to them. And to me, I'd feel like I'm cheating myself in that position.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, you just built a whole community on top of that too, so
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. But I mean, we're gonna get into some NBA news now. Team USA group stages are over, and Miles had some stuff to ask you.
All right.
Team USA.
Expert. We have the expert in the house. Let's get an expert opinion. First off, I need to know, is there a chance that the starters of Team USA could beat the bench? And so the starters, I'm going to give you reference because the starters have changed. So the current starters that I have listed who have played the most minutes in the starting lineup: LeBron James, Steph Curry, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum. Could they beat Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Bam, Anthony Davis, and Derrick White? 7-game series, what's it go to? Does the bench have a shot?
I'm going to go to the starters in 6. And that might be a hot take because I know the bench has been controlling the games in this tournament. And the reason I say that is because the way they've been doing their rotations is they've been staggering one of USA's superstar playmakers from the starting lineup onto the bench and elevating that lineup. And to me, when you listen to that bench lineup, the best playmaker is probably Durant. I feel like it's probably Durant.
No, I think you're right. Yeah,
And
him or maybe Derrick White.
Right, but Derrick White isn't going to like draw the defense as
Yeah,
much as Durant,
yeah.
and that's tough. White's probably the best passer in that lineup.
Yeah.
You look at the starting lineup, they have LeBron and Steph. Those are two of like probably the top 5-7 playmakers on the planet. And to me, that's where the difference is. However, Bam and AD as a defensive front court is ridiculous.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like,
ridiculous.
but, yeah,
Ridiculous. But like, I think LeBron operating in that much space can kind of nullify the impact of that front court. Like when you're running spread pick and roll with LeBron and Embiid, and your spot up shooters are Tatum, Booker, and Steph Curry, that's pretty ridiculous. And to me, yeah, it's just the playmaking edge. I think the starters have a lot more passing, table setting, and things like that. But like I said, the bench has an incredible argument, and they've been the ones winning these games. Like if you look at the plus minus, there was a game where half the starters were negative, and they won by like 20, and it was because of KD and Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Here's a quick one. Is Devin Booker the best player on Team USA? Quick yes or no. What do you think?
Best player? Are you saying the best in that environment?
Just the best on the team. Is it Devin Booker?
No.
Yeah.
So every fan who keeps telling me about his plus minus, please stop commenting because it's not true. He's not the best because of his plus minus.
I will say, he's probably adjusted his game to fit the most, though.
That's true.
That's a good point.
But he's not the best.
That's what I'm saying.
He's not
bro.
the best.
Devin Booker is statistically the best player on Team USA because of his plus minus exclusively. It's like, dude.
Watch the games.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Bro, please.
Watch the games.
That's what I'm saying.
What was I gonna say? I know Bam's been getting like not like recognized in the past and stuff. Like, what are your thoughts on him as a player? Like,
You said you watched my top 25 videos, right?
yeah,
I said he's the most underrated player in basketball because, people just don't know about him. You could take Brian Windhorst's. I remember when they were leading up to the South Sudan game. He said, "I don't know if Bam's going to be in the rotation because they're going to need to switch a lot." And I was like, "That's his best trait.
what?
That's his best trait as a player." And it's like, Brian Windhorst didn't have him on his Defensive Player of the Year ballot, and it's like, oh, he just doesn't even know that Bam's like the most switchable player in the league. I love Bam. I think switching 1 through 5, being a great rebounder, he improved as a rim protector, so he can kind of hold down the 4 as the 5. Now they drafted Khalil Ware, so he can play the 4 as well. But then also the offensive side of things, he's a legitimate initiator. He can pass, handle. He has a good mid-range game. I think like in terms of overall two-way talent, I think you could even. I made a hot take during the playoffs when after game 2, I think it was, the Heat beat the Celtics. Bam had like 25 points off of straight post fades.
Yeah.
And I remember I tweeted, I was like, could it be argued that over these last few years, Bam has actually been the focal point of that Heat team and not Jimmy? Like when you look at everything he does on both ends, he kind of controls the entire team system. And yeah, I think he's the most underrated player in the game. Like I think all 30 teams would be salivating at the idea of getting Bam on their team.
yeah. Nobody talks about him enough. I feel like, and
Yeah.
it's funny you said that. Like, he should be like the focal point of the offense. I think they're talking about that next season.
Mhm.
Or I saw some article about it. I can't remember, but it's
Yeah.
something like that.
Man, Kevin, our other co-host, hates Bam.
Really?
They're like the anti-Kevin.
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 Had to change up the roster a little bit.
All right. So, we got that down. You said starters in 6. Final
Starters
verdict?
in 6. Yeah.
Starters
Starters,
in
in 6.
All right. So, we're going to move on. So, this is something we've been talking about last couple weeks on the pod, right? The Jaylen Brown situation. It's kind of old news, kind of beating a dead horse, but as you know, we do got the expert in the house. So, quick rundown for anyone who's not caught up. So, after being left off Team USA, Jaylen Brown tweets, "At Nike, is this what we doing?" Because Derrick White, as a Nike athlete, was picked over Jaylen Brown to join Team USA. Brown also tweeted, "I'm not afraid of you or your resources." Grant Hill is the president of USA Basketball. President of USA Basketball said, "I spoke with Brown's agent and refers to the situation as a false conspiracy theory implied to be made by fans / Jaylen Brown." Brown responds to that on Twitter, at X now. "Grant Hill calling me a conspiracy theorist is disappointing. I've been a VP since I was 21 and have a great understanding." So now we've seen the controversy. We've seen Derrick White on Team USA. Does he belong there over Jaylen Brown? I think our verdict is, I said yes,
I said no.
no.
I said no.
So 2 no's and a yes. What do you think? Does Derrick White belong on Team USA over Jaylen Brown?
I like this because I haven't given my opinion on this anywhere. I kind of strayed away from it. It's tough because when you just look at totality, like Jaylen Brown is considerably the better player. I mean, we were talking earlier about the numbers thing. Like if you look at just only analytical stuff, like they'll probably tell you Derrick White might even be better than Tatum. But we all know, like if we all know how the hierarchy goes there. What's tough is when you look at Jaylen Brown's best quality, it's obviously his scoring ability to put pressure on the defense with his driving and things like that. And I feel like when you look at USA's roster, I guess think about Boston, for example. Boston wasn't so dominant because they stacked the deck with superstars. It was because they found the right guys to plug in the right gaps. Like they just had the perfect fit. And I think on a team like USA, there's nothing more important than plugging the gaps. And I think the best example of that is I don't know how you guys feel about Joel Embiid. I feel like we would all agree that he's the best big man on USA.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the NBA.
In the NBA?
I'm saying of those 3 guys on USA, he's the best one in the NBA.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
By
For
a landslide.
For sure. Yeah.
He didn't play a single minute in South Sudan, and Bam was the best player on the floor. That doesn't make Bam better than Embiid. I think that is kind of the argument you would get for. I would agree Derrick White is better fit on the team than Jaylen Brown, and it's because plugging the gaps. I think Derrick White's a significantly better passer. I think he's a better catch and shoot guy, and I think those are 2 things that like ultimately connect a team of superstars. And I think that's why, for me, like if I was building that team, like I would even look at Derrick White before Donovan Mitchell or Jalen Brunson. And it's because like I think those guys are true NBA caliber number 1s. But when you get them in this USA environment, are they comfortable taking 3 shots like Derrick White is? Derrick White, I think, has attempted like 3 or 4 shots in each game. And it's all open threes. And I think that matters because, like I said, when you have a team of superstars, you just need the guys to plug the gaps, connect the offense, and then do the dirty work on defense. And I think Derrick White is like S tier at that. And that'd be my argument.
Smart man.
That's basically. I mean, like band for band. That's kind of what you were saying that whole time.
Yeah,
the
I
Derrick
mean,
White situation.
I didn't really say it like that, but
Yeah, no, he said it a lot better than
you
than
gave like
you
the
did. But
watered down Walmart version of what he just said. And yeah, pretty much.
No.
The Temu special.
I think the main thing that you had said that we kind of not clowned you for, but just you got a little bit of hate for it was that you said that there was a conversation for the USA team saying we want Derrick White over Jaylen Brown, and that like there was no issue of like Nike having anything to do with it. It was just straight up, like you said, he fills in the gaps better. He's our clear choice. So, I mean, I still don't know.
Yeah.
I still think maybe it was a little bit of a conspiracy. Nike.
Yeah, even Grant Hill said like some stuff about it too.
Well, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I think like Grant Hill came out and said like it wasn't like with Nike, like it was just the end of a day like fit situation.
So what's tough for me with that is why did everyone go? The reason I think everyone went straight to Jaylen Brown is because Derrick White's his teammate. That's got to be what it is, right? Because there are a lot of players better than Derrick White that got overlooked and no one even cared. Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, you don't like guys. Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson. There were a lot of guys. Jimmy Butler. There were a lot of guys who I would say are considerably better players than Derrick White that kind of got glossed over. And I wonder if it's just because Jaylen Brown was his teammate. And it's like Jaylen Brown is the better player on the Celtics, so why isn't he the choice for Team USA?
This isn't like true by any means, but I think a lot of people would probably just say, "Oh, Finals MVP. Clearly, this is the next guy up,"
Great
and then
point.
you go over and just pick up his teammate. I mean, I can see why people were a little bit, or even why Jaylen Brown was upset about it. But like you said, there could have been people better than Jaylen Brown that would have been picked up. I mean, that's a kind of a hot take, but
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Instead of if like you could pick anybody besides Derrick White, who would you have put in that spot?
Oh man. Oh man.
Like just like best fit and everything.
That's really tough because Derrick White's a really unique player, and I almost feel like you want to try and I feel like this could be a hot take. I feel like it might have been Paul George because I think Paul George is probably like a top 5 to 10 catch and shoot guy in the league. Very versatile defender, and it's kind of like the same line of thinking as Derrick White. Plugging the gaps. Like Paul George can be a role player, like a supercharged role player, like almost like what Mikal Bridges did on the Suns. I could picture Paul George doing that for Team USA.
Yeah.
I even think he said like now in his career he's just comfortable being like playing good basketball. He doesn't care
Right.
about winning.
that's a good name to throw out there, Paul George. Like I was trying to think of someone that would be comparable, and that is someone I think that could take a back seat and just basically add to the team.
I definitely, since we're on the topic of Paul George, I definitely tried to weave into here somewhere asking you what your welcome to the league moment was, like he does on his podcast. but I couldn't quite I couldn't quite find a way to weave it in. So I'm just gonna drop that there while we're talking about Paul George. All right, interactive time.
Can that's what you want to do.
Let's see how
Any
much. Let's see
last
how much you know.
comments?
Let's see.
Hoop venue.
I don't know. I'm not sharp right now. I don't think. Get the excuses out early.
All right, we're gonna get into our first interactive segment with Hoop Venue. He's gonna tell us what happens next on this play. So we're gonna show him a possession in the NBA, pause it, and he's gonna tell us where it is. What happens
Oh
next?
man, I'm not feeling good about this.
No, I'm just joking. We're not gonna do
I was so confused. I think I looked
was
at you.
gonna
I was
say,
like,
Dude, that caught me off guard
I was
too.
like,
I
did he
forgot
just
we were
pull
doing
something
that.
out?
It's like, all right, here's
No,
the screen.
I was-
What happens next? What's the read?
I was telling Miles, like, Sean McVay, how you can remember plays and stuff.
Yeah,
I was saying, like, I feel like you have that ability. Like, if we
Dude.
showed you a play,
never tried it.
get a
there's
hoop venue
definitely
Lecap
some
moment.
like if it was like a top like 20 or 30 moments in the NBA, I feel like it could be possible.
Oh,
but
for
it
sure.
was
But
like,
if you
yeah,
just pull out like a Tyus Jones assist, there's no shot. There's no
a
shot.
Jokic putback in like the second quarter or something.
Yeah, just a little tap.
Yeah, just
all right. But for the actual ones, this is gonna be odd man out. Who did not have 400 free throws made this season? We have Joel Embiid, Paolo Banchero, Anthony Davis, and Anthony Edwards.
Well, it's definitely not Embiid, unless it's a trick question.
I
This
was
is
gonna
all
say, what tricks me out is Joel Embiid only played 39 games.
true. No, that's facts.
And
No.
so,
Yeah,
Wait,
look
wait,
at
wait,
it.
wait.
Yo, he's sweating, bro.
wait,
What do you mean? I actually forgot who didn't make it. But no, I have it written
I
down.
think it is Joel Embiid, and I'll tell you why. Because I think he averaged 12 attempts, and so if he were to make, I think he made 88% of them. I know that. So what's 88% on 12 attempts? It's gonna be like exactly around 400. It could be 398.
That's what he does. He picks right
Yeah,
around
he does
400.
do that. I think
Wait.
it's Joel Embiid because he's obviously
Embiid?
trying to.
But yeah, because that's I know
It's not
I think-
Edwards.
I think AD only attempted 6 or 7 a game. And how many games did he play?
Man,
73.
Yeah,
played
yeah.
73?
He played a decent amount
I was-
this season.
is it bad that I was gonna say Paulo first?
I don't
I feel like that's our last option.
Well, what's tough
That's
is I'm
what
pretty
I
sure,
went
yeah,
to
I'm pretty sure
first.
Paolo and Davis both attempted like 6 or 7 a game. Same with Edwards. Embiid attempted like 12 a game, but he played half the games.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's true. That's
They're
true.
probably all. It's probably like 403, 402, 400, 397.
I'm feeling the Embiid.
I'm feeling the Embiid.
Are we gonna lock in Embiid?
Let's do Embiid.
Yeah.
All right, Embiid.
I can tell you went to school for analytics because Joel Embiid was 399. He
Wow.
missed it
Of
course.
by
That's
one.
crazy,
By
man.
course.
Yeah.
All right, one
Oh,
for
yeah,
one.
good
Let's
job.
go.
All right. Here's the next one. NBA odd man out. Who did not have 1,500 points scored this season? We got Kobe White, Jaylen Brown, Damian Lillard, and Donovan Mitchell.
Definitely not Mitchell.
Mitchell only played 55 games.
I was gonna say
Kobe White led the league in minutes, so I feel like
it's man. Is it bad? I was gonna say Dame.
Dame
Is it bad? that
Dame
I was
averaged
gonna-
24.
Dude, that's crazy. You know that how much they average.
Dame averaged 24. I think Kobe White was 19 or 20, but Kobe White played every single game.
Yeah, I was gonna say not Kobe.
Kobe
White,
White's
just
over 1,600 for sure,
Yeah.
and it's 1,500 is the mark. Donovan Mitchell played 55. So in order for him to have 1,500, it'd have to be like 29 a game.
Does it include playoffs?
No, just regular season.
Regular season. Mitchell. Do we just ride with hoop venue?
I was just about to say that.
Wait,
I'm
so
so
who
glad
was,
you said
who
that.
was the fourth guy after Dame? Who was the other
So
guy?
it's Kobe White, Jaylen Brown, Damian Lillard, and Donovan Mitchell.
Jaylen Brown's the other one. I think Jaylen Brown would.
I think he did.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think it's either Dame or who's the other? I'm already
Dame or
losing it.
Mitchell.
Dame or Mitchell.
And I feel like it's not Dame. Like I don't know. I just remember throughout this season, like he wasn't.
The thing we just won the Embiid one off of games played, and that's the Mitchell argument. So should we just ride with it?
Yeah, I think I feel like we're kind of just dealing with Chat GPT over here.
I feel
Like,
like-
you're just gonna get.
Well, I was about to say something crazy. I feel like I think Mitchell averaged 27.6.
Oh wow.
I think it's Dame, bro.
You
if
think
I
it's
had to
Dame?
guess,
Why do you think it's Dame?
I think it's Dame just because he had like a reckless season, bro. Like there's games where he's putting up like 11 and 12.
Yeah, that's true.
I know for a fact he averaged 24 on the dot. How many games did he play is the question, because that's
Yeah.
all it comes down to is games played and points.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know how many games Dame missed. I feel like he played them because he played in all the games that Giannis missed.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my point. I that's why I didn't think it's Damian Lillard, because I feel like he didn't play, or because he did play when Giannis was out.
My guess would be Donovan Mitchell.
That's my
All right,
guess too.
let's write it, Mitchell.
It was Donovan Mitchell.
Let's go.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Dude, like, I thought I made these hard, but dude, I didn't know he knew like how many minutes they played and everything like that.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Spent a lot of time on Basketball Reference.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Um,
Tell me all of Mitchell's nicknames right now.
Yeah.
That's
He's like, all right, here's 6, just down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right,
That's
this
crazy.
one, I'm not giving you guys like what they have in common. You
Mhm.
guys are gonna have to figure out
Okay.
what 3 of them have in common and who the odd man out is.
Okay.
Before you say it, just last time we did this, what they had in common was a college. It was a college.
bad at those.
college
winning
championship.
college championship. Yeah.
So if it's
okay.
if
And
it's
Kevin
and,
got it on the first try.
and
so-
Okay.
Kevin's
There's
good at
there's a lot of
college.
college whizzes out there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not me.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hope this is an NBA one because if it's college, we're chalked.
It's NBA.
Okay.
Okay, good. I feel really all right.
Sigh of relief.
Send it.
Hold on. All right. So this is NBA odd man out for Devin Booker, Tyler Hero, Zach LaVine, and Desmond Bane. What 3 have in common, and what does the other one not?
Devin Booker, Desmond Bane, Tyler Hero, and who?
Zach LaVine.
Zach LaVine. Is it a most improved player?
I don't think Zach LaVine has one. Does he?
I have no idea.
No, that's actually a good thought.
The jump
'cause-
from Minnesota to Chicago was pretty big.
Does Hero have one? Does Hero have one?
No, he has a 6-man.
He has a 6-man.
I don't think any of the other ones have a 6-man.
Desmond Bane. Okay, so it's not. Can't be most improved then, because I don't think does. No.
What?
Does Hero have one?
I don't
Does
think
Hero
so.
have a
improved?
most
And
improved?
Bane doesn't either. Bane was second to John Morant.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I remember that.
So that's
Okay,
out.
so it's not MIP.
Could it be a former team? No. Never mind.
Something to do with 3-pointers. They're all shooters.
That's what I was
Wow.
thinking. I was gonna. Last time I did this though, I was so far off.
Wasn't one of the answers like they all shot above a certain percentage?
That
Did we
was
do that, or
that was
no?
our thought last time
Oh,
because he
okay,
gave
okay,
us
okay.
4 shooters. I think he
Yeah.
wants us to lean into the shooter percentage,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's that. He wants something. He wants something else, bro. Maybe it's a
Booker-
common teammate.
Booker, Levine, and Bane. I think this could be crazy. I don't know how in depth you went. I think Booker, Levine, and Bane were all top 10 transition scorers last season.
Bro, that would be insane.
That would be insane.
There wasn't that.
Dude, that would
that
be
would have been funny.
crazy.
Though,
That
if he
would
got it.
Yeah, dude, on the first try.
Is it?
I feel like I'm overthinking here.
Yeah,
3-point
he
wait,
did-
it
he
could be-
definitely
I'll be
did
honest, you
something
guys
simpler.
are cold.
It's
Oh,
three,
we're
cold?
completely cold.
3-point
You guys are
contest,
thinking-
maybe 3-point contest.
Ooh. I don't know. I know
Does-
Booker was in it. Was Levine?
Levine was in one.
Yeah,
Was Tyler Hero?
Yeah,
he
none of them
definitely
won
was.
it. Was Bane in one?
I don't think so. I can't picture him because he has a very distinct shooting form. I can't
Yeah.
picture him in the contest.
No,
Same.
he would.
Dane? No.
No, the T-Rex arms. No way he's
Yeah.
getting that ball.
So it's not
That's
that.
not a bad guess, because I feel like 3-point contest is possible.
I know Booker
for-
and Levine were in one.
Yeah.
and I feel like I know that Levine and Hero were in one.
I'm pretty sure Hero was in one last year, wasn't he? Didn't he do really bad?
I feel
Am
like
I- am I
I feel like that
stupid?
rings a bell. No,
Yeah.
I feel like that rings a bell.
He was active in
oh,
the All-Star
man.
break, at least.
Are we on base here?
No.
Oh man.
I'll give you guys.
Wow.
I'll give
Alright,
you guys a little bit of a hint.
Okay.
So it has to do with them all being shooting guards. A little, like that kind of plays into it.
Are they all the same
Devin
height?
Booker was listed as a point guard this year.
Not counting that.
Some
Uh,
hint. Yeah, maybe it's heights. Is it heights?
Well, I mean, Devin
pretty
Booker and
tall.
Desmond Bane, I feel like are around the same height, right? Or no?
I think Bane is 6'4".
I was gonna
Okay.
say Levine
you
is.
guys are off. So.
Yeah. Yeah, never
It's
It
mind.
has to do with them being shooting guards.
Oh,
They all got
I
kids.
forgot about Levine. Never
I was
mind.
Shooting guards.
Shooting guards. What do shooting guards do? They shoot.
It's like a very like I thought I remember reading this a while back. It was like something interesting I found. So
they all like sugar in their coffee.
no,
Did they all accomplish something? Like shooting guards to accomplish something?
no. It's just like a weird NBA like
Ah.
history thing.
Little nugget.
History thing. Most minutes? No. Can't be.
Negative wingspan.
No. If you guys ever give up,
Negative wingspan.
Okay, so
we know who wins that one.
well, okay, so do we get points for choosing who's the odd man out? I feel like the odd man out has to be Desmond Bane, but that might not be.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like
It's just a feeling.
Yeah, it's just like a feeling, man. Like you put Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, and even
Desmond
Hero.
Bane's good.
He's good, but he just seems like the odd
I
man.
feel like Zach LaVine is the odd man out.
I feel like the three that I just listed are way more likely to have the accolade or the reward that he picked out for that, if that makes sense.
It has to do with them being shooting guards.
That's completely throwing me off.
Yeah,
'cause I'm
Yeah.
like,
I was like,
let's
They
get
play
another
the
hint.
two.
Let's get another hint.
maybe it's who they play with then. If they're shooting guard, like
No.
backcourts, some.
I'm trying to think.
Have any of our guesses been anywhere near close?
No.
We're just
Wow,
like
what
we're
the-
just off in another planet right now. Trade me back.
Tyler Hero
Kevin got
doesn't.
so lucky.
Tyler
with
Hero
that.
doesn't have waves.
You got it.
That's
Oh.
it.
I'll give you a hint. This one's gonna be like a good hint.
Okay.
Mm.
It has to do with the NBA draft.
Oh.
Highest drafted shooting guards.
Yeah, something
Probably.
like
No, because
that.
Booker was like 11th.
Yeah. Oh, bench. He came off the bench in college, maybe.
Lottery pick shooting guards. I mean,
Off the bench shooting
You're
guard.
getting warmer.
okay.
Lottery pick shooting guards.
Honestly, bro, we might just have to pick one.
Desmond Bane wasn't a lottery pick, so if it's draft, wait, where did Desmond Bane go to college?
TCU.
It's
Nah.
Bane. No, it's Bane. He knew where he went. It's Bane. He would not know where Bane went to college.
Well,
otherwise.
I was thinking both Booker and Hero were Kentucky, right? But that is
I say Bane. I'm gonna throw it up.
I feel
Well,
like
we
throw
gotta
the
guess
lob.
what it was. Too,
Bane
'cause
was
I
the
feel like-
Bane was the lowest draft pick out of the four for sure.
Yeah.
Because he was like 20th or something like that.
But then what does that have to do with like shooting guard?
Under 20 when they were drafting or something. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, what is shooting guard? have
I
to do?
feel like it's like highest picked shooting guards, or maybe they were all picked. Maybe they were all the first shooting guards to go in their draft, which means
Ooh,
it can't be Bane then, or it has to be Bane as the on man.
yeah.
Let's just go Bane. I say Bane.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I
Bane's the
agree.
odd man out.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It is Bane. Do you guys want the answer though?
Yeah.
Okay, so Devin Booker, Tyler Hero, and Zach LaVine were all picked 13th. And- And I think I remember reading that the 13th pick in like NBA history has like been like some of the best shooting guards to ever. like,
Kobe.
yeah, Kobe. And
When
Let's
did that
call Zach
stop?
LaVine one of the greatest shooting guards.
no, like historically, there's a lot.
Tyler Hero?
No, I
I'm
think
more concerned
historic.
about
I think
that.
it's like some stat. I remember reading it a long
Yeah,
time ago.
It's a
No, it
lucky
makes
number.
sense.
Yeah.
It makes
It's a
sense.
lucky
though.
number.
That's interesting because I could have sworn Hero and Levine were higher picks than that. I feel like
I thought Levine was for sure.
Yeah.
I remember Levine.
I
going,
remember
like,
Booker slipping because he was a bench player in college and they
Yeah.
thought he was gonna be a spot up shooter in the NBA.
Yeah,
But
That's crazy.
man, that's interesting.
that was a good one.
Yeah, I
I
like
mean,
that. That was a good one.
I feel like I had the feeling that it was Desmond Bane, but like
Yeah.
I didn't. Obviously, I didn't know it was that.
Well, you had it right off the rip. You were like, I don't know what it is. He just doesn't belong.
Yeah.
Hey, that's 3 for 3 though. That's the
Yeah.
best we've ever done. So, our next interactive segment. Feel free to play along at home. While Hoop Venue's here, we're gonna test our NBA historic knowledge, and we're gonna try to guess every spot. 15 players on the 1995-96 All NBA rosters.
Oh, I love
I put
this.
2000 2001 in our
Ah.
document, and I felt like they looked it up, so I switched the years, and I didn't tell them until I got here.
That's what I like to hear.
So let's see how much you guys know.
95, 96. I mean, there's some obvious ones.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's start with the first team.
First team.
Who do you think was on the first
Can we
team?
just
We'll
go
go.
in any order?
Are
We'll
we
go.
going-
No, we'll go around the circle.
Okay, and are we going in by position or just anyone on the first team?
So at this point, you could do any position, but there are 2 guards, 2 forwards, 1 center.
Two guards, two forwards, one
at
center.
this time,
All right,
because I know
so
they just changed.
I'm
that.
gonna do a hot take and say Michael Jordan was on that team.
Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
I mean, Pippen was the second best player. So I'm
Pippen.
gonna go Pippen.
Also on the first team. That's 2 for 2. Vic.
Gary Payne.
Not quite. Gary Payton is on the second team, though. We'll count Gary Payton for the second team. So technically 3 for 3.
Okay, so first team, center is tough. There's 2 guys I'm thinking of. I'm gonna go with D-Rob, David Robinson.
David Robinson, correct.
First team.
So we got 3 out of the 5 for the first team. We need a power forward and we need a point guard.
I mean, Dennis Rodman's obviously on there too, isn't he?
No, sir. Dennis Rodman is not on any of the teams.
Mm.
Karl Malone.
Just gonna take
Karl
down the
Malone
Bulls.
for the Utah Jazz. That's number 4.
Ooh, point guard stuff. I don't think it's Stockton. I also don't think it's Tim Hardaway.
It's a little bit out of the box.
Little bit
Really,
out of the
it's
box.
really about the
It's
year.
Penny Hardaway.
It is Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
There's the first team. Penny Hardaway, Jordan, David Robinson, Karl Malone, Scottie Pippen.
What a squad.
Let's move on to the second team. My bad, Vic.
This is about to get bad.
Second team, we have Gary Payton so far. Who you got?
Oh man.
Think legends.
Yeah.
Any legend. This is like the most legends, like common legends. This is like their peaks, pretty much.
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like AI was not around that time. It's too early. It had to have been.
Like a year early. You
might
can
have to-
forego your guess.
I can forego my guess.
Fit your
I
guess.
think I might have to. Okay.
Hakeem Olajuwon.
Hakeem Olajuwon at center
On the second team.
on the second team. D-Rob took the first.
That surprised me because the other center I was thinking of was Shaq. And is he third team?
Shaquille O'Neal is third team.
Okay.
All right, so we'll
I feel
count
like
it.
they did it more in order, like
Yeah.
back then than they do now.
Mm.
Oh, I forgot it was me again. For editing purposes, man, I may not even like waste time because I'm like drawing a blank right now.
All right,
I
well,
really
forfeit your guess when you get one. Just take your turn.
Okay.
All right.
Fair enough.
Vic, we have Gary Payton and Hakeem Olajuwon from the second team.
Wow.
Grant Hill.
Grant Hill.
That's a great shout.
Wow.
That's
Good.
a great shout.
That's crazy.
I love
I
that.
was not expecting you to get Grant Hill. Yeah. Second team.
I love that.
Detroit Pistons, Grant Hill. So we
Love
need
that.
a 4 and a 1.
A 4 and a 1. Is the one John Stockton?
The one is John Stockton.
Okay.
Good pool.
Guess.
Hmm?
Guess.
No.
4, dude. The 4 is tripping me up.
Yeah.
Is it Sean Kemp?
It is Sean
That's who
Kemp.
I was, that's who I was
Okay.
gonna guess. If you
It's
didn't
Sean
get that.
Kemp. Wow, you guys are doing way better than I thought.
Okay.
Have we missed one yet? We just
No.
missed Rodman. Is that it?
Yeah,
And
Robin.
then,
That's the only
I
one.
feel like I missed one, didn't I?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, you missed first team, but you said Gary Payton, but he was on the second
okay.
team. All right, so we got third team. All we have right now is Shaquille O'Neal,
Now it's gonna get tough. Reggie Miller.
Reggie Miller for the Indiana Pacers. There we go. Daniel, guess. Vic. Two of these are hard, I would say. Two of these are hard. One of them's pretty easy.
We have a shooting guard and a center. We need 2 forwards and a point guard.
Clyde Drexler.
Clyde Drexler is not on the third team.
That's a good
Okay.
guess. That's a good guess. I'm thinking. Is the point guard Terrell Brandon?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why I laughed. I mean, I don't even. Man, I think I've heard that name twice in my whole life.
I know him. I think he made one around that time, maybe
I
97.
think he did
On the
because I was
Cavs.
looking a couple like seasons after for
Mhm.
like, okay, which one will they know the most players? And he was on a team, and I saw that and did pick that that roster. You got to guess?
I'm thinking of a Nick, and I'm drawing a blank of who it is. I'm thinking of.
Is someone on the Kings?
There is someone on the Kings.
Okay. Is it Chris Webber?
It's not Chris Webber.
No. Well, the 4 is going to be Barkley, right?
The 4 is Charles Barkley
Okay.
for the
yeah.
Phoenix Suns. And we're down to the 2 that might be hard. Might be hard. One of them is pretty hard. One of them you probably will never guess.
Mitch Richmond.
Mitch Richmond for the Kings.
And the other one's the one you're thinking we're not going to get?
The other one is the one I don't think.
Small
you're gonna
forward?
get. Nope. This is power forward.
Power forward.
I think they're technically running Barkley at small forward.
Okay. Larry Johnson?
It's not Larry Johnson.
Alonzo Mourning.
Close, but not quite.
Close.
He made like the next 3 All NBA teams after.
Oh,
this
I thought
year.
you meant like the player was close. Like it was like his teammate or
Yeah.
something.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no.
wait.
No.
Um,
I'll give a hint. You want a
okay.
hint?
Yeah, let's do it.
This player played for the Washington Bullets.
Oh, is it Juwan Howard?
It is Juwan Howard.
Yeah.
All 3 NBA teams guessed. Good job. You guys did pretty good. It's gonna be.
Yeah, I was nervous
It's gonna be an easy reel to end.
because I knew you were gonna switch it up too. 'Cause
Yeah,
when
I
you
mean, I
said-
gave you. I
Yeah.
basically told you I was gonna switch it up. That's why you win. That's how you got Grant
Should have
Hill.
gone to the 70s.
Nah, I'm playing.
Holy cow.
Should have done what?
The
Gone to
70s.
the 70s.
Bill Walton.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dennis Johnson on the second team.
All right. Well, that went pretty smooth. Let's move on.
Back to a little bit like NBA news, where this is gonna be hoop venues hot seat. So, what is the most underrated free agent signing this NBA offseason?
Isaiah Hartenstein, easily for me. I think the Thunder had the money to pay. Call it an overpay if you want, but if you have the money, why not use it? I think the Thunder last year were a 60-win threat. Took the Mavs to a very close 6 games. Like that game 6 came down to the last possession. And then just added an elite rebounder, rim protector, big who can do it all on offense and defense. I think that's incredibly underrated, and I think it fixes their biggest issue. Everyone was questioning whether the Chet frontcourt will be enough to bang with the Nuggets with Jokic or some potential finals matchups. I think Hartenstein to the Thunder is like an S tier move. And they didn't lose anything for it. They just added a really good center to a really good team.
Better than Caruso?
Well, I mean, that's another great move. The Thunder we could just say the OKC Thunder. I mean, yeah, that was another amazing move. But I think Caruso, what was interesting about the Caruso move is I think that was in addition to their biggest strength. I think their biggest strength was like forcing turnovers, playing aggressive defense. I think adding Caruso, because most teams, when they're team building, is they try and go for, what's our biggest weakness? How can we fix that? And they went in the direction of, what's our biggest strength? How can we make it an even bigger strength? And I love that. But then to go on like a week later and then improve your biggest weakness, that's just like, that's crazy work. That's crazy work.
That's crazy.
So
work.
what's your like prediction for them next season? And what do you think like their biggest hiccup or roadblock is going to be?
I don't know if there is a roadblock unless like someone gets injured. I think they were a top 4 offense and defense last season. They got 2 elite defenders, replaced them in the lineup with Josh Giddey and then Jay Will, and then didn't get worse offensively. To me, I said like a week ago, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a type of season that the Celtics just had, at least in the regular season, where they unravel 63, 64 games, and then Shea would probably run away with the MVP if that was the case. So if I were to make like a hot take prediction, I would say like 63, 64 wins, Shea MVP, and they're like a head above the rest of the Western Conference, at least in the regular season. Don't know how that translates to the playoffs yet, but I think they can have that type of season. I think I even compared it to the jump that the Warriors made from 2014 to 2015. When they started playing Draymond more, Steph took that leap to the MVP caliber. Klay Thompson had another year. I feel like that could be the type of internal leap we see from them.
That'd be exciting.
Thunder, huh?
As a Jokic fan though, like, do you want to see the Nuggets back at the top and kind of being that team to beat in the NBA?
I think they can be the type of team that people forget about and then they unravel a crazy playoff run. But I don't see them as a team that can win like 63, 64 games and have this dominant. Because remember, nobody really even felt confident in them during their title run.
Yeah.
They went like 16-3, but it kind of like shocked everyone. Like I remember people picking the Suns to beat them and then picking LeBron and AD to put Jokic in pick and roll. And then it was like, wait, they're actually kind of really good. And the Nuggets to me are more of a playoff inclined team. Like if the Thunder won 10 more games than the Nuggets, it wouldn't surprise me. It also wouldn't surprise me if the Nuggets were a considerably better playoff team.
I never thought about that, but that jump was really crazy. The Nuggets going from like in 1 year.
People thought Minnesota was going to upset them as a 1-8 because they were like, Jokic can't defend. He's not going to, they're going to fall apart in the playoffs. And then they had an all-time run.
I just remember going from like being like, oh, like exactly what you said, like the Lakers will be fine and like this will not be an issue. To like go a year later, or like a year and a half later, I was like, the Nuggets are the best team I've ever seen touch the basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
That's actually insane.
And the rewrite on Jokic was crazy, specifically because everyone was like, fraudulent MVP, hasn't done anything in the playoffs, and then the moment he gets a healthy roster, they just blitz the league. It was like, oh, he's kind of good. Let's actually call him a top 15 player of all time now. That's how it went.
I don't know. I've seen a little bit of like discredit for that championship though, like with the Nuggets from other people.
Really?
It's kind of weird that it's like
it's because it was after they went down 2-0 to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone started the narrative that Jokic has never beaten a 50-win team in the playoffs. I remember that being a huge thing on Twitter. And they were down 2-0 and they lost both games in Denver. And everyone thought Jokic is a fraud, the Nuggets are done, fluke run. And I remember it all shifted back on that game 5 when he had like 43 or whatever and was just cooking Gobert.
Mhm.
And it was like, then everyone was like, okay, that's really good. They were up 3-2 at that point.
Yeah.
Then they smoked the lead and went right back down. And it was like, Nuggets are fraud. Now they lost KCP. They're done contending. I don't think there will ever be an honest narrative about the Nuggets, honestly. I just think it's just cooked. It's just cooked at this
Just
point.
cooked, man.
Their fan base is almost non-existent. When we went to a game, me and Victor, like it's not that they're non-existent. It's just like, I don't know. They don't get as much love as I think like the Lakers do or the Celtics or fans of Chicago. Anything.
Well, I feel like that could just be a market thing, though.
Yeah,
For sure.
for
LA,
sure.
Boston, Chicago, like those markets are always going to pop out. Like
Yeah.
even the Bulls can suck and they'll still sell out every game.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you, you might have already answered it, but like, what team do you think had the best offseason this year, and what team had the worst?
Yeah, Thunder would be my answer for best. Yeah, I pretty much already answered that. And I would say worst, honestly, that's tough because
Hawks.
who were you gonna say?
It's got to be the Hawks.
The Hawks.
The Hawks.
I don't feel too bad about the Hawks.
Man, you must have a lot of faith in Dyson Daniels, bro.
Well, I like Dyson Daniels when he's on the court. He's an injury problem. I also really like Larry Nance Jr. But that was more so the reason I'm not mad about what the Hawks did is because that was more so I'm not really a huge DeJounte guy. And so I think moving off of him really the Hawks are just stuck in limbo. They're going to probably win 39 games, go into the play-in, maybe sneak into the 8th seed and get blitzed. I don't know what they're doing. So yeah, if you want to just say like the team that had the most useless offseason, either probably them or Chicago. But
I like the Giddey move, bro. Is that a hot take?
the reason I don't hate the Giddey move, I dislike the time they got rid of Caruso. They waited till he was at the lowest possible value and then got rid of him. They probably could have gotten a crazy package for him during the season for a contender. Like I bet Denver would have thrown crazy offer for him.
Everybody was.
Yeah, everyone.
They were offering, I think, multiple first-round picks, and
then I think they said, we want to try for the playoffs. That's what they said. They were like, we want to try. For what? Why do you want to make the playoffs? But another team that I think had an underrated bad offseason, and this one would get me a lot of hate, is the Knicks. And I think I liked the McHale move. I think people underestimate how bad it is to lose Hartenstein. And it wasn't really their fault. They couldn't pay him. But now you're relying on Mitchell Robinson to stay healthy for like 34 minutes a game.
True.
And Jericho Sims is not going to fill those. Like, come on.
He could jump really high though.
He can. He can.
That's all anyone knows.
So you would have rather them fill that gap before trying to get McHale.
I don't know if there's anything they could have done. That's why I don't want to fault them for it. They just couldn't pay Hartenstein what OKC could. And it was unfortunate. Like, I don't know if there were any replacements out there. Like Steven Adams kind of does similar things, but I don't know if he was an option. Yeah, Knicks is a tough one. I'm also worried about the Pelicans because it's the reverse side of the DeJounte thing. Now they don't have a center.
Yeah.
They lost Valanciunas. Their starting center is the rookie they drafted.
Yeah.
I think his name's Yves Missy or something like that.
Yeah.
We talked about that. And they also just got rid of Cody Zeller too.
Yeah, and Zion's 6'5". He can't play center. He also can't protect the rim.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I love the Pelicans, like the direction they're going. They have a very futuristic approach in terms of like a bunch of versatile wings who can kind of do a lot of things. But like what is that lineup going to look like? DeJounte and CJ probably can't really play off each other well.
Yeah.
You have a huge surplus of wings. Herb, Ingram, Trey Murphy, Zion. A Pelicans fan actually DM'd me the other day and asked like, what would I do if I was the GM? And I was like, I would probably try and package Ingram and DeJounte and try and get an all-star type of center.
Yeah.
I was like, ideally, obviously this is completely unrealistic, but I was like, ideally, if you could get like Porzingis or Jared Allen.
Bring back AD.
Right,
Bring back
bring back
Davis.
AD. But I think the
island.
Pelicans are a tough one because I think they're in just a really weird spot where they're trying to move the needle, but they just can't get there. And every time it feels like they're about to, like 4 players get injured.
True.
And so, yeah, Pelicans and Knicks would be like my 2 losers.
Huh.
I didn't expect the Knicks one.
Knicks one is a shocker to a lot of people. And yeah, it's just because I think people are so hype about the McHale move that they're underestimating how bad it is to lose Hartenstein on that team.
Yeah.
Especially when you're probably going to have to deal with Philly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's like
Or Bucks.
or Milwaukee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Julius Randle is going to be the one guarding Giannis.
That's crazy, bro.
Coming into this next NBA season, like what would you say like your biggest hot take is, or do you have any like prediction for like a team that might surprise everybody or a player?
My biggest hot take is that Philly has enough.
Oh, okay.
I feel like they do though.
If it goes right. And I think everyone will ride on the narrative like Joel Embiid collapses in the playoffs. He just had one leg and a lazy eye and
oh yeah, dude,
averaged 35 and 12
yeah.
against an elite defense. Had like they were +8 net rating with him on the floor in that series, -56 with him off the floor. Joel Embiid has the tools. Whether he'll be healthy or not, that is the big question mark. Same with Paul George. But like ideally, I think if everyone's healthy, if it all works the way it's supposed to, I think they have enough. That would be my hot take. And I feel like if I said that on Twitter, I'd get obliterated.
Well, I mean, they also just brought in Eric Gordon and Reggie too.
Yeah.
So like, I
And
feel
Andre
like
Drummond.
and Drummond.
There's just one piece on that team that really worries me. Well, not piece, but like missing piece is the roster really lacks passing. And that's kind of the recipe that Boston just followed to a championship. Everyone can pass, make decisions, put the ball on the floor. Philly, I don't trust. I think their only great passer is Kyle Lowry, who's on his last legs. I said, ideally, I would choose Philly to be the favorite out of the East if they had the Bulls version of Lonzo Ball before he got hurt. If they just added him to the roster.
True.
That's
That's
like
actually
Tyrese Maxey, Lonzo Ball,
that's a fun take.
Paul
I agree
George,
with that.
Oubre, and Joel Embiid would be the starting five. I think that would be a championship team if they're healthy, because that's like 4 injury-prone players. But
Yeah, that team. Holy cow! You'd have to bring them in an ambulance to get them.
but there is a lot of luck involved in winning championships, though.
Oh yeah.
That's
like
true.
like people underestimate that. So
Even what was it? Would it be Kawhi's then? That was a really big injury like season. Like a lot of players went down.
21?
Leading up to Kawhi winning. I think.
oh no, you're talking about 19
19.
when
Yeah.
KD got hurt.
Yeah.
I was thinking 21 when the Suns made it to the finals against the Bucks. Everyone got hurt that year.
Yeah.
Kawhi got hurt
Kyrie
before the
and
conference
Harden.
finals. Kyrie and Harden.
Yeah.
That was a weird year with injuries, and I think that had a lot to do with the COVID stuff.
Yeah. It does have a lot to do with luck. Really, it does. I mean, there's a little
deleted
And
that
also
year.
getting hot at the right time, because a lot of people will say it's a make or miss league, but sometimes the shots just aren't falling. Like the Nuggets in that Timberwolves series, they couldn't make an open three,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and after a playoff run of shooting like 40% in every series, it's like sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
For
That's the
sure.
same thing that happened in the Nuggets. I don't know what, like the Nuggets versus Timberwolves series. I felt like it was just kind of a switch back and forth between one night Timberwolves were hitting
Yep.
for 2 nights in a row,
And that's
then-
why none of the games were close.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
a blowout every
Yeah.
game.
exactly.
And that's what happened to the Rockets in 2018. It was like everyone wants to say, yeah, you live by the three, you die by the three, but missing 27 straight threes is the most unprecedented
too many.
thing. That is
I
ridiculous.
just watch a retrospective on that series, bro.
Dude,
I like got to relive that. I was like, damn,
Ridiculous.
that's actually crazy.
it's ridiculous.
It's like, bro.
the Klay Thompson went 0 for 10 in an elimination game.
Yep.
Dude, I've seen those
Yep.
everywhere. Oh my
Especially in our comments section.
Thank you, Tyler, for coming on to Good Morning Let's Basketball. We appreciate you coming on, and you guys need to check him out, seriously. This guy drops amazing NBA content, very knowledgeable, and if you guys might learn something from watching him.
Yeah, it means a lot, man. Appreciate
Yeah.
you having me. This was fun, guys. We need to do this again. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Definitely
We'll do, it
down.
again. We'll do it again. We'll run the twos as well.
Yeah.
Oh, like 2v2?
Show you that Giannis type defense. in
Yeah.
person. Give me a pair of KD6s. It's wraps.
But yeah, make sure to check out his channel. It'll be in the description, and we'll see you guys next week.